Hello and welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa Hemming, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you would get me. I am so excited to have you here to listen to this episode today. This wonderful woman combines all the things that I love: running, Taylor Swift, and Disney. She is just such a joy to talk to. I could have talked to her all day long about Taylor Swift alone, because if you've been around here long enough, you know I don't have enough Taylor Swift adult friends to talk to. So I just love this conversation. She just had a huge accomplishment in the Run Disney community and is just such an inspiration to follow on Instagram. I've really loved watching her from afar and even today just learning more about her story. So without further ado, what time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome, Hailey, to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Where do we even begin? There is so I was thinking about all the things that I need to ask you about because there's so much. So you just got married, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
A Disney bride.
Yes, it was very fun. It was at the Swan and Dolphin, the Swan Reserve. It was beautiful. It was so great having the Disney view and then having,
Yes.
some non-Disney stuff in there too.
Did Mickey come?
Mickey did not come. But we had a view of the fireworks and of Epcot, and then it was like a
Perfect.
360. Yeah, it was a 360 view, so you could see all four parks at one time, which was really special
No
during the whole
way.
reception. Yeah,
So that's
so
at the Swan and Dolphin.
Yeah, so our ceremony was outside of the Swan Resort, and then we walked across the street to the reserve and went up to the 15th floor. And our reception was indoors, but it was at the top of the hotel.
Wow.
So, and there was a terrace. So for fireworks, everyone walked out on the terrace, and we watched the fireworks during reception.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I always stayed at the Swan and Dolphin when I was little with my parents. So that they have the heavenly beds, I think that's what they call them, that my dad loves. So we always stayed there. So when I saw you were getting married there, I'm like, that's even more perfect.
I know, same here. I always, especially incorporating running into it. My father and I, which is a huge parts of my Run Disney experience, a journey. We always stayed at the Swan together, and we've also stayed at the Reserve. So I have a lot of family ties to the area. Obviously, Disney as well, a huge tie to Disney, and now to my wedding day. So that's very special.
So, okay, so is your husband as much into Disney as you?
So when we first met, no, he hadn't been to Disney in a while. Obviously I was like, let's go to Disney. And now he is a pretty avid, he asked me to go to Disney now. He loves pin trading and he loves being at the parks and walking around with a beer in his hand and he's a huge people watcher too. So he just loves to go. He asks me to go all the time now. So I guess the answer is no originally and yes now.
You converted him.
I did convert him. I did.
So now, do you live in Florida?
I live in Florida. I'm originally from Naples, Florida, which is about 3.5 hours drive from Disney. And now I live in Orlando. I live about 20 minutes from Disney and about 10 minutes from Universal. So I'm kind of in the middle.
You're always there. You're always at the park. You're always doing fun things. It's so fun to see.
Yeah.
So you have a yearly pass, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I have a annual pass for both Disney and Universal. So my older brother works at Universal, so we go and visit him there a lot. And then I love Disney, so I have a pass there too. So I get my money's worth. That's what I make sure to do.
So now you've also turned your husband into a Swiftie, right?
I have. He went to the Eras tour. It was funny. He wanted me to go the second time. So originally I went to Tampa night 2. And then he's like, well, let's just go somewhere in Europe and let's just put in for every single city and see where we go. So we got off the wait list for Madrid. So that's where we ended up going. And he had a blast. He danced the whole time, sang the whole time. And then it was funny. Our first dance, well, half of our first dance was to our surprise song of Sparks Fly,
Oh my God,
which,
I was going to ask
yeah,
you what if you
yeah.
incorporated her into your wedding. I knew you had to have because that's one of my favorite things. I mean, I love that you run and you do all these amazing things, but like I don't have a
I
lot
know
of
we're
adults in my
Swifties.
life that love Taylor Swift as much as me. So this was so exciting.
Yeah,
Okay, so Sparks Fly, that's
yeah.
amazing.
And it was, so she went right into the bridge, which is like the part that everyone would know,
Yeah.
but it's still a pretty like niche song that I didn't think he would know. Like he really, when I met him, didn't know many Taylor Swift songs at all, except
Yeah.
for like Shake It Off and other ones. But I was like, Sparks, I'm gonna speak now. Like that was, I don't think he'd know that one. So he jumped out of his seat and I was like, I think if somebody had a camera on me, I think he was more surprised and I was like, whoa, like, how does he know this song? Like, this is a lot of performance there. But yeah, so yeah, we actually incorporated that into our first dance. And
I
then,
love that.
yeah, the first half, I don't know if you're familiar with the song on the Hannah Montana movie, Crazier by Taylor Swift.
Yes. Yes,
So
that's
we
my
started with
favorite.
that. Yeah, so we did the little slow dance to that and did a little dips and stuff. And then the DJ cut it and then we ran and we put these sunglasses on and then we danced around the Sparks Fly. So it was fun.
Oh my God, I love that so much. So, and your dress at the air, what I don't know what you wore to the first one, but I remember the dress that you wore to Madrid. That was amazing.
Yeah, so the first one I just did like a Reputation like silver skirt with a black top, and then for Madrid I was Tortured Poets, so I had like a white corset top with a dress underneath it, a white dress. And then I actually had a cape that my best friend also, we're like the same person. She loves running, Disney, Taylor Swift. She helped me make this cape. I know we're like literally twin flames, but she helped me make this cape and it had all like the 5 quotes that she teased Tortured Poets with. And it was just so fun. I had a cape, boots, all that stuff. And then I also lucked out that I went to Miami Night One, where she debuted the Golden Rep bodysuit, which was a pretty cool experience. But we were folklore, so we both wore the red folklore
She
dress
went three
for that.
times, 3 times in
Yeah,
it.
I did. The
I
last
love
one,
it.
I was very surprised it came out of nowhere, but yeah. And then the other two were more planned, but the last one was very spontaneous, and I went with my best friend too, so that was fun.
Oh my God.
So
So,
yeah.
like, okay, so let's just cover Taylor Swift first. So it's almost the Tortured Poets anniversary, which I'm so excited about. I can't believe it's been here
Oh
a
my
year.
gosh. I can't believe it. She blessed us with the, like, between those two, like Midnight's is also my other favorite. It's hard to sometimes on the day to pick one, but that was like one of the greatest gifts she could have ever given us was the Torture Poets apartment. And
Yes,
personally, Who's Afraid and The Smallest Man, those are like
I
my top
know.
two
I
favorites.
know that thing today that was like, what is the one song that you choose? Like,
Oh yeah, I saw yours.
I agonize, but
Chloe.
I do love that song so much, the Chloe. And you
Yeah.
wrote "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me,"
Yes, that's such a good
which I wasn't
anthem.
surprised. I think that was pretty on brand for you.
Yeah, yeah. I That was my favorite. I love The Smallest Man, The Prophecy. So it's The
Like, how do
Prophecy
you
just hurt.
choose one? Like,
It's hard. You can't. Like them telling you to choose one. I could have do maybe like my top three, not number one, but
I know. So let me ask you this. I love to ask Swifties this. If you
uh,
Are there any songs that you skip? Straight up don't like. Any
I
album,
would say
any album.
any album.
I'm
I hate
Robin. I
this.
hate Robin.
Oh yeah, I always skip Robin for sure, for sure. Robin. Um, yeah, I would say probably depends on my mood. I do tend to skip a lot of Fearless.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I know that's such an unpopular opinion, but yeah, I don't know. There's just some song like I love a lot of the tracks on there. Don't get me wrong, but some of them I'm just like I'm just like not in the mood. I'm like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
can't. But
I can be
yeah,
like that with 1989, especially like the ones that you hear on the radio more, like
like Shake It Off and yeah,
yeah,
that
Shake It
makes
Off
sense.
style, like the ones that you're like,
Style, yeah, that one, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I would say I probably skip that one most of the time too.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
too overplayed.
Yeah, but
That's what I like
mostly
about
I
Tortured
don't. But I
Poets.
always love to know. It's like because Robin, and it makes me sad that I do skip it. But I hate it. I hate it. I hate that song.
I know my bestie and I said the same thing. We're like, we trying to do it for, quote unquote mother. We're trying to do it for mother, but I can't. No, I can't do it.
Well, especially when she came out with that reel, that adorable reel that she used Robin for. It was recent. It
Uh-huh.
was like her growing up or whatever. And I'm like, why did she have to use this one? I feel bad now. But
I
what are you
know.
gonna
I
do?
know.
So
Yeah,
fun.
it just depends on the mood. Some days I listen to everything. I mean, probably obviously minus Robin, but other
Yeah,
days I listen to everything. It just depends. And like I always get so scared hitting shuffle on Taylor's discography because I'm like, what am I getting hit with? Like,
I
especially
know.
simultaneously. Like it'll be like Who's Afraid, then Style, then like Smallest Man, then like Shake It Off. Like I'm like, this is too
Yeah,
much back and forth
yeah.
here. But it's
So
also so fun too.
did you use any other of her music for your wedding other than the first dance?
So, oddly enough, I was actually waiting to bring this up. My best friend and I, we had our own dance. We asked everybody to leave the dance floor, and we literally recreated Who's Afraid of Little Old Me on the dance floor.
Stop.
Yeah. And we just like, we didn't we didn't like rehearse it or anything. We just did like most of the stuff from the Eras tour, obviously minus the little stage room that she has. But we were just moving in sync, and it was, I think to me, that was um so cool. It was like one of the highlights of the whole day. Just like looking back, everyone came up to us and we're like, that was so cool. Like you guys moved at the same time and just like looked like you guys were having so much fun. So yeah, we did that. And then we did play Love Story and You Belong With Me and Look What You Made Me Do. But I actually surprised everybody with not walking down the aisle to a Taylor Swift song. I walked down the aisle to the Twilight songs. So
Ah.
growing up, I was a huge Twilight girl, so I actually just shocked everybody. They're like, "This isn't Taylor Swift,"
I thought for
but
sure that it would be Taylor. Yeah.
yeah. So I did that for the ceremony, and then, but yeah, the reception was, yeah, our first dance was both
That's
Taylor Swift
I love
songs.
that. What about your father-daughter dance?
We danced to the "You'll Always Be My Baby." It's by Alan Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it. Me and my dad have a very special relationship, so I just knew I was like, oh, I can't. It was I was crying. I was like, oh, this is too much. I can't. I was
Oh.
like, don't even look at me. I'm gonna cry more.
Have you
But
posted these things on your Instagram?
I
The
don't have any
dances, I mean?
like my actual videos yet. Some people took like some like they wanted to be in the moments they weren't taking videos, but the ones I have like is shaky. I was like, I want to
Yeah,
maybe wait.
yeah.
I'm gonna make some reels when I get some actual footage
Okay, good. I
back.
didn't miss anything because this is
Yeah,
I will eat it all up. You have the best content too. So, and I'll put your Instagram in the
thank
show
you.
notes so people can follow you, but
Thank you. Yeah, I want to add them to like my reels so that people can just see it. But yeah, I haven't really talked about it too much to anybody other than people who were there. So yeah, I'm excited to share it with
yeah,
everybody.
that is awesome. So let's dive into your dad. So that is
Yeah.
one of the best things was seeing you guys run together and accomplish these
Yeah.
things together. Like it just like warms my little heart when I see it. So tell me about
Yeah.
all of that. And was he always a runner? Did he get you into running? Like tell me about all this.
Yeah, so I actually wouldn't be a runner without my dad. Growing up, I did a lot of sports. So I played basketball, soccer, volleyball. But when I was 12, yeah, when I was 12 in the beginning, I think it was around February when signups would be, he asked me, he goes, did you know that Disney had races? And at the time, I didn't know. I was like 12. So I was like, no, I didn't know that. He goes, there's one in October, and it's called the Tower of Terror 10 miler. Like, do you want to do it? And maybe Cody, my brother, will do it with us. So we were like, yeah. So we all three signed up. And my older brother, he was away to college. So he wasn't really training with us at the time. And just for background knowledge, my brother and I, we were like, at the time like picked on each other, did the sibling thing.
Yeah.
So we trained all through the summer when it was hot, and we did our 8 mile long run, and that was some of the best bonding times I think was getting to run those long runs with him. And we did them at night, and one night like we had like the lightning hitting and like the heat lightning. It was so pretty out, and it was just so fun. And I'll never forget, we ran the whole entire 10 miles together.
Aw.
Um, but my brother wanted to get ahead. He's like, I just want to beat Hailey. My one goal is to beat Hailey. So he shoots out of a rocket right at the start line, he fades at mile 8. So we catch up to him. And then he was spent. So he's like, my dad's like, "Oh, you can go, and like we'll catch up to you." So we did finish together. But yeah, that was kind of funny. Was that he was so he was like, "Ugh," and then all of a sudden, as anybody goes, they have those race photographers going into Hollywood studios. All of a sudden, he starts jumping like, "Yeah, yeah!" And then right after the photographers, he's like, "Oh." So as any of us do, like I've
A
done that,
hundred percent.
everyone's guilty. So but we finished that, and I just remember I was like, I'm so glad I got to do this with him and everything. And then that followed, we did 2 of the Everest 5Ks together. And then we did Princess was our first half marathon. That was in 2015. So I was 14 at the time. So 2 years after we did that together,
Wow.
we ran our
Your
first half
first half
marathon.
marathon at 14.
Yeah, 14. And I just I won't forget it. We hit the wall at the same time, that 10 miles. I looked at him, I was like, this is a little, he's like, yeah,
Was
this
your
hurts.
brother
And
doing
then,
that too? Did your brother continue?
no, he did not continue. So now he's just like, you two, you go. So he didn't, yeah, he's not,
He was
no,
like, I'm
he's like,
over
I'm not
that.
ready. No, he's like, I'm not a part of this. So he stopped after that. But yeah, we ran the Princess 2015 together, and it was just such a blast. And then we did Wine and Dine in 2016, and then we took a I think 2-year break, and then COVID hit, and then we
Oh
didn't pick up
yeah.
again until 21. But I think I've counted, and we've done over like 30 races together of Run Disney.
Wow.
Yeah, of our
So,
whole
and you
like I
train
guess.
together too? Do you still train together?
Yeah, so we oddly enough, I live in like a little condo townhouse situation, and he lives in our same community with my mom and my little brother. And so we do sometimes meet up for runs and run around together. And although in the past year I have found some of my speed, so we haven't been doing a lot of our training together, but we do come together for the Run Disney events and everything, and we will come together for some training runs. But we've been starting to do them a little bit more separately,
Yeah.
but still have the same passion, obviously.
Yeah.
But
How cool is
yeah.
that? So you guys did Dopey for the first time this year?
Yeah, so growing up, we were even scared of doing the 19.3 challenges, like throughout, like from when we started to 2020, we were like two wake up calls back to back, a 10K, then COVID hit, and we're like, you know what, we're doing it. We're doing it. So we started with the Wine and Dine 2021, the first race back. We signed up for the challenge, and we liked the challenge, so we're like, okay, the 2 days, that's good. And
So that
then
was like 10K and half.
the 10K and half are the
Okay.
challenges. Yeah, the 2 course challenge for Wine and Dine. And then they brought in the Springtime Surprise. So Springtime Surprise is a 5K, a 10K, and then a 10 miler.
Okay.
So we did that for the first time in 2023. So we're still 19.3 miles, but a little bit differently since it's not a full half marathon. I'm like, okay, the 3 days of waking up, it's not fun, but it's not terrible. And then I believe it was in 2000, yeah, 2023 was our first full marathon. And where Disney's the only place you can say that you did just the full
Yeah.
marathon. The only place, I'm pretty sure, of my
Yes.
knowledge, that you can say that. Um, so we obviously felt so like just overwhelmed with joy that we finished our first half marathon. We ran all of that together. And so we stood there and we're like, okay, this is really cool. And then 24, we did it again together. We look around and we're like, okay, like this was really fun, but there's something we haven't done, that we still said we wouldn't do it. But then we were standing over by the boardwalk, and we were just watching people go by that had all the dopey bibs on. And we're like, you know what? We've been through, the two of us, through all of this stuff together, and there's just one more distance left that we haven't done together. So my dad's like, well, at least, we can try, like, we'll sign up. So in 2023, or yeah, 2024, we were like, we're going to do this next year. So March came around, and I gave him out. I was like, are you sure? Or actually, I'll take that back. So we was like, okay, we'll do it. But then he told me no. He's like, I don't think I can do it. I was like, that's fine. But then I think he just knew in my head that I still like was thinking that that was like the one distance we had done together. Because I had said, like, I was like, oh, that's like, I understand you don't want to do it, but like, it's the one distance we have. So I totally forgot about this. So we go to signups, and he was doing the signups for me. I was waiting in the waiting room, but then he got in first, and he was telling me he was having some issues. Like he's like, I'm having some issues, my credit card payment, and I was like, hold up, like I'll be right over. So I quite literally just walked over there and went in there, and he goes, oh, like I got it. Like, can you check the email for me? So I was like, oh, we're in for the full marathon, okay. And then I go look at it, and I scroll down, and it says the Dopey Challenge. I look up at him, I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He's like, I just did it. We're doing it. I was like I had no idea. He just signed me up for it. So actually, I would say my first doping was like, I didn't even know it was gonna
You
happen.
didn't
I
even
just like, he
know.
didn't even
Yeah.
ask me. Yeah, he knew I would do it. So I
Yeah.
told him I would do it, but he told me he was not doing it. So I was like, oh, we'll just do the marathon again together. It's no big deal. But yeah, so I didn't even know I was doing dopey
Oh
until
my
like I was
God.
already signed up for it.
What time is it? Ad time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Ad time. But this one's for my own shit. My own shit. I wanted to come on here and share really quick, just to remind you guys that I have subscription exclusive content available now on the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. We always have the Monday episode that is free and for everyone. And on Thursdays, twice a month, I break down either specific things that I'm working with clients on in therapy in real time and or concepts from the episode on Monday where I do a deeper dive into the mental health piece or how I would work with someone who had those sort of issues or just anything that I feel like I want to give you guys more meat on, right? Sometimes in the interviews, I love having the interviews so much, but there's certain concepts that I want to like hone in on and really give you guys like tactical ways to use that information in your own lives. And that's the way that I do that. So support the podcast. $10 a month. You get 2 bonus episodes. The subscription content comes out Thursdays. And as I said, it's 2 times a month. And I'm really excited to bring it to you and really do a deeper dive, sort of like I used to do back in the beginning of the podcast days, if you've been around a while. I appreciate you so much. I thank you for being here. Support the podcast, $10 a month. Mwah! Love you guys. Let's go back to the show. How was
Yeah.
training for that?
So training started in June, where, I forget, where are you located? I
I'm
forget.
in Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. Well, here in June, obviously, it's
Yeah.
hotter. It's so hot. So,
Yes.
you start off with those little, I guess I forget the actual term, but like just the stepping stone and the training. You just kind of take it easy and light. And um, so from June until I'd say August, I was taking it pretty easy. August, I picked up a bit because I was actually signed up, or I did the Run Disney Halloween Disneyland
Okay. Yeah.
half. So my best friend and I flew over there and we did the half marathon for Halloween. So that kind of kept me in condition. And then a few weeks later, I had Wine and Dine. So that was a good, I did the challenge for that. So I did the 10K and the half. So that was kind of a good gracing point to see where I was with that. And then in November was where my miles picked up a lot.
Yeah.
November, end of October, I started running a lot. So it was becoming a lot, running, starting around 5 days a week. I would do 2 3 mile runs usually, and then, or no, it would be 1 3 mile run, and then I would do like 2 5 mile runs, and then I'd have like my long runs on the weekend, which those would alternate. But once I hit November, like it was pretty much like
That was a lot.
8 to 11 miles per week, and then alternating between that. But yeah.
And I mean, the purpose of, well, I mean, I would imagine that a lot of the training is like back to back so that you can sort of simulate what that feels like to be running one day after another.
That's the biggest thing, is just doing the back to back and stimulating that, which I was very consistent with the back to back. It was a little hard for me because, like I said, I did really have a lot of races. So I had Halloween, then I had Wine and Dine Challenge, and then I also had Space Coast. So Space Coast is a really
Oh, I
big,
do remember you did that. Yeah.
yeah, it's a half marathon out of like where the
Is it
rockets go off and stuff.
Pensacola? Oh no,
It's
that's not.
Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
Cocoa Beach. So we did that, and then I also did a race in Fort Lauderdale where I PR'd my first half marathon in a long time, and then I did the OUC half marathon downtown Orlando here, and I did my PR again. I did that in an
You
hour and
PR like
44.
every day. I swear to God, every race, you're like, I've got a PR. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Is it
I
just the
know.
consistency of running for you?
So that's the thing is like I feel like going into this season, there's a lot of like oh my gosh, I PR'd every single time last year. Um,
No pressure or anything.
No, yeah, I know. Last springtime surprise, I was really running no faster than like a 12 to 11 minute mile, which is great. But my dad and I, when we trained, we would run for a quarter mile and then we would walk for a 0.05. So we were stopping like 4 times per mile just to make sure we finished the race and stuff. And then we did springtime surprise, and my dad's like, "You don't even look like you're like sweating. Like you look like you could run faster." I was like I said, obviously I love running with my dad. I didn't really care. I was like, "Oh yeah, but like I like running with you. It's no big deal." He goes, "Well, maybe when you go home, you should start seeing like, what if you didn't stop here, and what if you went a half mile, and what if you went a full mile?" So I
Yeah.
started doing that at home, and then I was going in the tens, and then eventually I was in the nines, and then once I started for dopey, I really it was just I was just loving the newfound speed I had. So through the summer, my best friend, she'd yell at me, but I was running at like noon in the heat, and I was still pulling out some 8 minutes miles for the first time in my whole life. So I was just like, it was a lot of like, this is crazy to me. Um, so then I just really trained through dopey and stuff. That's where I would say I probably wasn't hitting each long distance because I had races and I was also just trying to
Yeah.
pick up speed. But
So
that
do you still do intervals?
Yeah, I've been still keeping up on intervals. I do have a full lined up in the fall that I'm trying to PR, so I'm trying to keep up with my speed. So I wasn't hitting each long distance, but I was definitely hitting the back-to-backness, which I would say for anybody who is going to be doing dopey, it's really the consistency of just putting time on your feet, not
Yeah.
necessarily always hitting that exact mile they're telling you to hit. Um, but yeah, just well, as long as you're falling close to that, that's fine. But yeah, I was very much I was focusing on being consistent before I would like go too fast, go too slow. I was focusing on being consistent, and that really allowed me to PR my half marathon for downtown Orlando, which I
Yeah.
would have never thought in a million years I could ever run that. So that was very exciting. It was a very fun season, just finding the speed, and obviously it was I had a lot of highs in that one too,
Yeah. I
especially
love
on
that
top
you
of
still
just
do
doing
intervals too. Like that's so
yeah.
Disney of you, right? Like Jeff Galloway is always preaching about intervals, but I find that they help me be faster too.
Oh
Even
yeah,
just that intentional like walk break, and then you can like I go way faster when I have those.
Yeah, it just depends on what works for anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I do, and sometimes you have a certain day where you feel like you need it, and some days you don't. Your body is really
Yeah.
what is your main motivator. And as for running, I'm sure you agree that sometimes you just have to throw what your body will tell you, like, I'm in danger or I'm hurting, but like sometimes you just have to focus on what you have in front of you and be uncomfortable. All the
Yeah.
professional athletes say that you have to sit in that uncomfortableness. And for my half marathon downtown Orlando, my average I think was like a 7:55, but I was just sitting in that. I was like, do I want to stop? Yes. Am I going to? Do I have to? No, I don't feel like I
Yeah.
have to. Do I want to? Yes, but I'm not going to. So, you just have to
Yeah.
sit in that uncomfortable as long as that's not popping, pulling, or any some sort
Yeah.
of, none of those sensations are not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. So now, so when you guys did Dopey, did you stay together or did you sort of do your thing and then meet him at the end?
So for the 5K and 10K, we did stay together. It was very cold. So we were just trying to warm up. So we pretty much just jogged slash walked that. But we did stay together for the whole 5K and 10K. The half was where he told me to kind of go on my own and take some pictures and do our own thing. So my dad also has like a medical thing going on right now that we can't really pinpoint, which he did dopey just fine, but it was just like he was just a little bit more achy and everything.
Yeah.
So he was like, I don't, you can go ahead and you can get your pictures. My fiance, well now husband, was waiting for me at the finish line, so he had all my stuff. So he's like, I'd rather you just go take the pictures with Mickey Mouse and all this stuff, so that when I get there, we can just leave. We always take that little "I did it" sign picture. He's like, we can still do that together, but he's like, I'd rather you go wait in line for the characters and stuff, and then we can just go to the hotel after.
Yeah.
So,
So you still do all the character stops. Like you're not like
yes.
so focused on speed that you're like screw the characters.
So, and initially, I wouldn't really, but last year, my dad and I started stopping during this springtime surprise, and I thought that was so fun. So, I don't particularly do Run Disney to PR. I don't think, I that's not my intention. People who
Yeah.
have that as in their intention, that is great. I can see like the adrenaline push from being at Disney. I get it. Um, but if there's a photo line that's not long, I won't wait very long. But if there's a photo line that's not long, I will take my picture with the characters. Like the marathon, I think I stopped like 10 times just because like the characters were sitting there like waving, like they
Yeah.
weren't doing anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna go run and take a picture. It's like free.
Yeah.
So
Well,
since I have
that's
Daniel tested.
probably an advantage to being speedy because if you're ahead in
Yeah,
the corrals and there are no lines, I think I never saw a line that was less than like 10 people. So like, yeah, it was a commitment to wait, but I was willing to do it for
it
the
is.
experience of it.
Oh yeah, the experience of it. I mean, even if I was in the later crawls, not that I started doing it, I would do it too. But yeah, that is definitely an advantage of being in a, earlier corral or whatnot. But I mean, I see people who I know in, the further ones, they still do it, and it's just the fun of it. So I will stop, and it's funny because my best friend, she's a do not stop person. She'll tell me when she stops that her legs are gonna stop working. I was like, your legs are working just fine. You're okay. But um
I get what she's saying because there
yeah,
are there are races that it's like that, but it's almost
yeah,
like with Disney you can sort of mess with your intervals being the stopping, right? And then you just make sure that
right,
you're running the rest of the time.
right. So for the princess half this year, um, we were doing the little party pace and stuff. So we actually stopped, I think, like 8 times, and we stopped, and she goes, I don't think I'm gonna make this a regular habit, but this was pretty fun. So
Yeah.
she liked this character stuff. She thought it was pretty fun.
Now, did you
So
ride the roller coaster?
I did not ride Everest because um, I will actually tell you, I worked at Disney prior to this,
You
where I work now.
did?
I made magic at Slinky Dog Dash. So I worked over there in
No
attractions.
way.
Yes. And I have also worked at Spider-Man over at Universal as well. So
Okay.
I've been in both attraction scenes, and I'm not saying that happens very often. My worst fear is just getting stuck on it and then like
Yeah.
not like do not finishing like off based off of that. I think it's so fun. This year I probably will try to do it just
I didn't
because
like it. I didn't like how I
you didn't
felt.
like it? Well, that's what people said. It's like it was hard to stop or start running again because of the
I felt
sensations in your body and
nauseous.
stuff.
Yeah, I did not
Yeah,
like it. I mean, I'm glad I did it, but I didn't love the like I can see why people don't want to do it, like
right.
it does
I
mess
would
with
also be
you.
afraid of that too, especially this year was cold, which I think
Oh,
I was
yes.
already cold enough. I didn't need the wind going in my face and making me colder. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was so much fun. I had the best time. My a best friend was also we didn't run together, but she was doing it too. So it was nice at the finish line. I got to take a picture with my dad, and my dad did amazing. So I came in I think at 4:20, almost on the dot, and then he came in I think like 5:20 or something. So like he made really great time. Our prior PR I think was like a 6:30 or
Oh,
6:20.
wow. That's
So he shaved like an
amazing.
hour off. Yeah, and he was like I said, wasn't feeling the best either, and he shaved a lot of time off. He did it really great. I'm
So
so
how
proud
did
of
you
him.
feel? Like how tired were you after Dopey?
Oddly enough, I didn't feel too tired. I think it really was just like endorphins were just going because we went back. I don't even know if we necessarily laid down. I think we showered and then we went to Disney Springs and then we um or d- yeah, we went to Disney Springs and then we just kind of drank around, ate some food, had a good time. And then we went to, I think, Epcot, and we walked through Epcot on the way back. And then we always, our big thing is the boardwalk ice cream. We try to always get at some point during around Disney weekend. So we did do that. But yeah, we walked around Studio or Springs and walked around Epcot. And I mean, we were sore, but I think the best thing is to walk around
Walking,
after. I think if
yes.
you just lay down, it's not good the next day, I don't think.
Yeah. No, and I mean,
So,
I think that's also the difference of Disney. It's like, and I only have done the one marathon. I mean, I did the half in Disneyland, but
yeah,
in terms of like challenges, and I think you're not used to that, like the go 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 go, like, you guys are just going all the time, like
yeah.
it's, you're going from the races to the parks, you're going from this activity to the next, and I think the walking it must really help.
It does. I think it does help. As much as you think it would be bad, I think it does help.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. So are you doing Dopey next year?
I am signed up for Dopey next
Is your
year,
dad
as well as my dad. He's just like, I think for him, because he's like, I don't know if I'm doing it again. And then signups come around, and are you a reader?
a
Do
reader?
you like to read books?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, Dopey, all the medals are books and like genres.
Oh,
Yeah. So like the 5K is sci-fi, the 10K is like the whodunit. Oh, the whodunit. It's like what would you say that?
oh, like,
Sci-fi, and then mystery. Oh,
oh,
mystery.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the half is romance. The full is fantasy. And then
Oh,
goofy is comedy.
mm,
And then dopey is a fairy tale.
that's
And
adorable.
they're all books.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, so you
So
couldn't pass that up.
I couldn't pass it up. But I told my dad, I was like, if you want to, like I said, just do the full, because he likes the full distance. He's
Yeah.
like, I like the full distance. I was like, if you just want to do the full, like, that's fine. Like, I'll just go, do my own thing. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll just do it. So for
Twist
round
my
two. But
arm.
yeah, and like I said, the big thing was doing the Dopey to Dumbo. That was my whole thing last year. I was like, I'm doing Dopey to Dumbo, Dopey to Dumbo. So after Dopey, I did prioritize my relaxation a bit. Was hitting those
So
runs still in
what
between.
is Dumbo? Tell me what that is.
Yeah, so the Dopey to Dumbo challenge they call it, which is the coast to coast challenge. Dopey starts over here with those four races, the 5K, 10K, half full. And then this year it was pretty much 3 weeks later, not quite, was the Dumbo challenge over in Disneyland, California.
Okay.
So my dad didn't do Dumbo, but my mom and I flew over to California, and I did the 5K on Friday. And then Dumbo is the 10K and the half on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like 22.4 miles within those 3 days. You add on the 5K, but the 5K was Baby Groot, and I love Marvel and I love Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, I have to do it. So yeah, so I'll show you that this was the Dopey medal, and then
Oh,
this was the Dumbo medal. And
oh,
he's
that's
like a little outfit.
cute.
But yeah, it was the 3 days over there of getting up, and then also it was different of I don't really have the same feeling as other people where they have to do the parks after the races all the time at Disney. My dad and I will like leisurely go walk around, but some people have to get in their full park days like with their kids and stuff. So I couldn't really relate to that necessarily. But over there I did, because over there I'm on vacation. I don't always go to these parks and stuff. So
Yes.
after these races, 5K, 10K, half, I didn't nap after any of those. And I was going to the parks with my mom and going to down, so I was like, this is what it feels like to do 3 days of like the races and all that. And I will say I was pretty sore
Yeah.
after doing all of that. It was a lot of walking. I think I forget how many steps I did the whole weekend, but it was crazy because I just walked. I love those parks. Those are my favorite. I actually prefer Disneyland to Disney World. Unpopular opinion, but yeah. So I
You
just trying to
prefer
soak
a
up.
Disneyland
Yeah,
ah,
yeah. I
what?
know
What
it's a
about
very
it?
unpopular. I just think that the rides over there, like they put so much more effort into. And like for instance, Pirates over there is so much longer. It's
Yeah.
like an extra 10 minutes. And then I just think that's so cool. And then a lot of the times I go over is mainly for Halloween. So the haunted mansion with
Oh,
the
I
Halloween overlay.
loved that.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
Yes.
That's so cool. And their Thunder Mountain is better. They have like all like the explosions going on and all the extra animals and like their Space Mountain is so fun, and I don't know. And then California Adventure is just so fun. I love the Monsters Inc. ride over there. I think
Yeah.
their Tower Terror is cool with the Guardians, and
Indiana
then
Jones.
yes, Indiana Jones. How could I forget him? And then I don't know. I think they just have a lot of quality, and then ours are just like quantity, like spread out. I don't know into like
Yeah.
the different parks and stuff. Um, but I
Storybook,
don't
the
know.
Storybook Adventures. I love that little
Yeah,
ride.
and I'm a huge like Disney history person. Like growing up, I know so much about Walt Disney and his family and how they started everything. And I'm just such a Disney nut, like history nut, that when I go over there and I'm like, Walt Disney stepped on these bricks and Walt Disney stood here and like this is his firehouse and this and that. I just think it's just his presence there is there. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's not a Disney World too, because obviously he had a crafting and Epcot and all this stuff, but I just think it's so much more prevalent over there. It's
Yeah.
like the sense that he had his hand on all that stuff. So I think that's what also makes me a little bit of a nut about it. It's like all
Yeah.
this, but it was a lot. So January was full of a lot of miles. Amongst the two, I think it was 48.6 is Dopey, and then Dumbo was the 22.4. So that's like 70 something miles on top of all the other miles you walk to and from the corral and around the parks and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was a challenge that I never thought my wildest dream I would have done. But yeah, we were signed up for Dopey, and then the Dumbo registration was opening up. I was like, oh, that'd be crazy to do that, like to my dad. And he's like, well, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you go with your mom? I was like,
Now, does
really?
your mom run?
She does not run, although we are doing the Halloween weekend in September, and she signed up for her first 5K.
Oh, I love
So that'll be fun.
that. That's
Yeah, so I've never gotten to
amazing.
experience Run Disney with my mom, so that's coming in September. She's very excited. So
That's
yeah.
so cute. Are you guys planning outfits together?
Yeah, we might do something like that, I think. That'd be fun. So my dad doesn't typically dress up with me. He does like his older shirts. He thinks it's really funny to show up to the marathon in 5K like Run Disney shirts. That's his favorite thing.
That's a
I
dad
don't
joke.
He just thinks it's funny, and I'm like, I don't know. So he doesn't necessarily do the outfits, but I didn't either. So we used to always wear the race shirt. And then I got into, I don't know if you're familiar with Crown Athletics, and they have
Yes.
like active wear for running. And I was like, I'll get a set. And then I just fell in love with it. And I was like, I'll get another set. So now I just like I dress up in that and
Now
for
you're
Dopey.
always in a cute like outfit.
Yeah, I know. My husband is like, "Who are you?" Like when he met me, I was just all black, active wear, and just black everything. Now he's like, "You like pink?" I used to not wear pink at all. I'm like, "Yeah, I like pink. I have like more pink outfits from Crown Athletics than I ever thought I would have."
I
But
my two friends, Jason and Melissa, they're a married couple. They're doing their first dopey next year, and they do like all the costumes, and I am obsessed with it. Like I every time they go to Disney, I'm like, I can't wait to see because I don't ever want her to tell me beforehand. I just want to see it in my
to be
stories when
surprised.
I see her. Yeah. But
Yeah.
she does my favorite one that they did was she was Mary Poppins, and then
Uh,
he was Bert, and he had like the the like soot on his face, and they just looked so cute. You have to meet them at
aw,
Dopey. So they've
that's
already
so
started like
cute.
training. They're like getting ready to like, build their
Yeah.
consistency and, get used to
Yeah.
putting those miles on. So it's crazy
Yeah.
to think of how much prep goes into a race like that, just because of all the distances.
It does, yeah. I mean, it typically starts in June, but I mean, if you want to start building whenever you can, you can. If you want to
Yeah.
be more prepared going into the training, then absolutely. And it's amazing. It's such an accomplishment, and I'm so glad I did it for the first time, and it was fun jumping into it with the coast to coast action. So like I said, this was the medal that we got for doing the 2-1. So it has like each
That's
castle on
cute.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting that, it was like a huge accomplishment just because of the fact that they were so close together.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then a few weeks later, I did Princess, and that was a really fun weekend because I've my best friend and we've only known each other for I guess a year and a half now, but we became close very fast just for the reason that we have everything in common. Um, so going into Princess Weekend, I got to do the 10K with both my dad and my best friend. And
Oh,
yeah, so the past year, my best friend and we've been doing a lot of the half marathons together since my dad's like, you go do your stuff. We'll run like the 5K and the 10Ks together. So my best friend and I have crossed a few finish lines together and non-Disney ones. Like we do a lot, like the Space Coast and the Fort Lauderdale we did together. So it was so cool getting to incorporate like my two running best friends into one race for the
yes.
10K. And then we did the half, my best friend and I together too. So that was a lot of fun. And then that shaped up my Run Disney season minus the springtime surprise because obviously I was getting married.
Yes.
So
So now, like, explain this to me because I don't really understand it. Like, some people are saying now that they had a perfect Run Disney season. Like, what is
yeah,
like, when does it start? Is it a calendar year thing, or is it like, how does
yeah.
that work?
Yeah, so Run Disney season starts well now with the Disneyland Halloween weekend.
So that's the
Uh
beginning.
that's the beginning. That's
So
the
it's
beginning.
almost
Yeah.
like a school year.
It is like a school year, which
Okay.
some people qualify a perfect season as in Disneyland and Disney World races,
Okay.
and some people say they have a perfect Disney World season,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that one, there's the 4 weekends, and then the perfect season, they're adding on the 2 Disneyland weekends too. So
Okay.
there's a total of 6.
Okay. It's your effing breakthrough. Round two is coming May 5th. Don't miss out on this amazing 3-week group coaching program. I just brought some ladies through the first round of round one, and I am just so excited about the things and the takeaways that they've had. And I want to share some with you. Here's one testimonial. This was about our group coaching that we do on the weekends. We do one group coaching session every weekend to sort of talk about our wins, talk about where we're going for the next week, and just share with one another what we've learned, what we've, grown, or how we've grown in that week. Okay, this was the feedback from the group coaching session. It was a really great group today, hearing struggles of other ladies and relating it to my own. You encourage us to give our own ideas and you give fantastic advice while making sure we understand some ways we can move forward. You have such energy that you seem to help us not sit back and think, but strive for results. You can get even the quietest people to open up. Thank you for inviting me to your group. I just love hearing things like this and ways that this is helping these women. So I wanted to also share some old narratives and new narratives that some of them have shared throughout the program, because part of this is recognizing where you're stuck and then being able to take the action steps to move yourself forward. So one old narrative that someone shared was, I will never be enough. And the new narrative that she came up with was, I will never be enough for the wrong people, but I am more than enough for the right people. Like, how powerful is that? Another one was, I will never be able to do that. And the new narrative was, I can do whatever I put my mind to. Like, oh, if this is something that speaks to you or things that you have inside of your head, then join the program and let's help you get unstuck and moving forward in a really intentional way. I want you to accomplish anything that you have on your heart, and I can help you get there. So link in the bio to join. We start May 5th and it's going to rock your socks off. Hope to see you in there.
Weekends.
And that's
So
if you
the
do every single race, like 5K, 10K, or however that looks. I know some are different though. Like I signed up for my first challenge. I'm doing wine and dine this year, but
Me
I
too.
didn't add on the 5K because I was confused, but so that would not be a perfect season. Not that I'm doing any of the others, but you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, technically, for me, I guess a perfect and in the perfect season, yes, you would have to add that
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
But for me, a perfect season, if I was to do one, it would be the challenges, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah.
Because the
Well, it's your
5K is a
effing journey,
complete.
right?
Right, exactly. Like it is your own journey. It's your effing journey. You can do
Yeah.
whatever the F you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
Like, so for me, it would be the challenges. Necessarily, I wouldn't add on the 5Ks. When I'm in Disneyland, I typically do add on the 5Ks just because I'm going over there, might as well. But
Yeah.
here being local, I typically don't. But that's what they say is fun is that, everyone, I don't know if you've seen on Instagram, they have their own idea of a perfect season.
Yeah.
They don't do the 5Ks or their perfect season is that they just, in my opinion, it could be that you participate in just one like
Yeah.
event in each season. So you traveled there and you paid money to get there and be there, and you might have only did the 10K each weekend or did the 10K and then one time you did a half. It's just the perfect season of that you participated in every single event.
Yeah,
That's what
that's a great
I think. It's your
perspective.
own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically some people, as welcoming as any community is, sometimes they're not. We're like, that's not a perfect season. Like it's my perfect season. It's
Yeah.
their perfect season. So, that's what's exciting. Going into the season, I am currently signed up for the Halloween challenge with the 5K. And
Okay.
then for Wine and Dine, I guess I will see you there because I'm doing the challenge
Yes.
then too.
I'm so
That's your first
excited. My
challenge?
first challenge. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. You're
Yeah.
gonna love it. It's
I'm
so fun. Like,
excited.
'cause like sometimes you have one race, you're like, oh, it's over. But like the challenge is like you have the fun the next day. And then you chose a great time to do a challenge because the Wine and Dine, is this your first Wine and Dine too?
Yes.
The after party, oh my gosh. I can rant and rave about Wine and Dine weekend being probably my favorite. I love Marathon Weekend, but Wine and Dine is just so fun. They have the after party, you go, and they're playing like cool music through the speakers. Like 2 years ago, they were
Oh,
playing like hotel room service, which was crazy to hear playing at Disney through the
yeah.
speakers at Epcot. But it's just such a fun relaxation area just to be
Oh,
after the parks. So you chose a really good weekend. And then I'm also signed up for Dopey. And then, like I said, I just couldn't resist the book. I'm a huge book nerd, so I was like, I have to do the book. So
yeah.
do that. And then I was pretty set on not doing Dumbo. But then the race themes came out. My favorite character of all time is Sorcerer Mickey because it's so
Oh,
nostalgic for me. I missed the Sorcerer hat being in Hollywood Studios, if you remember.
yes, I
I missed that.
do.
And I just think he's so cute in his sorcerer outfit. So I saw
He
that part
is.
and I don't, I was like, my mom probably was, I wasn't sure if she would want to go. So I was like, I hate to ask, but then it was just all so cute. And Joy was the 5K, and then the half was It's a Small World, and then the
Oh,
challenge is Dumbo, and he just looks so cute. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna try not to. And then my best friend texts me, and she's like, we have to go. I was like, "You want to go? Like you want to go with me?" And she's like, I need the sorcerer hat, like Mickey." I was like, "Me too. I mean, I need it too, but like, okay." So she's like, "Well, we're going." So I was like, "Okay, well, we'll think about it." But then she started telling everybody at work that we were going, so it was like, I guess I'm going. So I guess Dopey to
I love
Dumbo
the
in round
influence.
two. That's kind of how our friendship works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the Dopey to Dumbo part two is coming as of if registration next week goes fine. So that's next Tuesday that happens. So we'll see how that turns out. But and then yeah, and then I guess the springtime surprise my dad and I always do together because it's just so fun. The 5K,
Yeah.
10K, and you don't really have the half marathon hanging over your head. So we always usually do that. But
Now, do you
the
stay on the park at the parks during the races, or do you just stay at home and then come in for the race?
so for Dopey, we do the 5K and 10K where we drive in. And then for springtime surprise, we'll drive in for the 5K and then we'll check in after.
Okay.
Just so it's like one last day.
Yeah.
We try to keep it at like the 3 nights, like maximum for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's what we do. But the biggest thing up in the air is the princess weekend. Because like knowing that I'm gonna have all these challenges, I'm like, oh my gosh. But we are wanting to do, have you heard of the Rock and Roll Las Vegas race? The half?
Yes. That was
Yeah.
so fun.
We're wanting to do that next
'Cause
year.
that's
So
February,
that's
right?
it is February, and of course now it's usually the same weekend as Princess, where I'm like, okay, like I have to choose one or the other, but of course they're not. They're separate weekends. Like Princess is the weekend after. So, but we want to do that too. My dad, he's never been, or he's been to Las Vegas, but it's been a really long time, and it's like around his birthday. So I think we'll be doing that. So whether I pick up a princess bib or not is really up in the air. That would be,
Yeah.
I guess, the one thing in between me and my perfect season, but we'll see. I don't know if I
Yeah.
should do that. It's a little lot, but we'll see.
Now, are you a Disney Vacation Club member, or is that not, does that not make sense if you live there?
We contemplated it. It would have been something to do that was really cool when I was younger. It was something that we
Yeah.
didn't really like think about because like we're like, oh my gosh, we could have been doing that. I'm not, but we did contemplate it. My little brother, he's autistic and he loves staying at the cabins at Fort Wilderness.
Oh,
And they just redid them, which we thought was gonna be really hard to get a reservation now since they're new, which is it's still pretty easy. So I'm not a vacation club member, but the perks are really cool. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
they are. I didn't know if it would make sense or because you get those like in-state sort of pass deals, you know. I know
Yeah,
it
we typically use those more, and the annual passes, those rates are typically a lot less too.
yeah.
Um, they add on discounts during, especially during certain times of the year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
Wow. So your
yeah.
next is the Disneyland Halloween weekend.
Yes, and something that I'm very excited to share that I haven't done on my Instagram is that I am signed up through a charity to run Chicago Marathon.
So exciting.
So
Is
it's my
this your
first
first
real
world?
major.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
my first star, and right now I'm all about the world majors, so I'm just like trying to figure out how I can get more and do all that. So should I originally my biggest one that I would love to do is probably the New York Marathon, just because I love
Yes.
New York and just like the funness of it. That would just be like a fun party pace, like whatever I do. But this next year, like I said, the past year I've been finding my speed and everything. And so for Chicago, I was like, I want like a flat,
Yeah.
like, full something with like a lot of on course, craziness. And then I put in for Chicago, didn't get it, and I obviously didn't take no for an answer. So I found I found a charity that is very close to my heart. They help autistic and Down
Oh,
syndrome kids in Chicago. They do sports and take them on like activities. They teach them how to do chores. It's a place for them to go. I have something similar to that my brother goes to over here in Orlando, and I just wish that there was more things. The special needs community, I feel like it's looked over a lot because after they graduate, they kind of just leave it on their parents to figure out what's best for them now. And, it's not a one size fits all thing. My brother can't
yeah.
really work and stuff. He can't really be out in the general public very long and get told to do things. So I just love that they are giving, special needs kids a thing to do. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I
Well,
was like, I want to
definitely
do it. So
give me the fundraising link so I can put it in the show notes so people can.
yeah, absolutely. I will, and I'm very excited about it. And so like I do have a PR pace that I'm thinking of, but it's fun. I'm excited. I'm going on my honeymoon in May. So I'll be gone from the
Where are
3rd
you
until about
going?
we're going to Greece, Italy, France, and then Monaco for a day.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I'm very excited. So right when I get back, it's time to start building again. So it'll be fun.
Yes. What's the
Yeah.
fundraising commitment for your charity?
I think it's 23, but minus 23.
Okay.
I can't remember if they reimburse you the registration or how that works. I think it's technically 1,800
Okay.
around there. I have to look. But yeah, just now that my wedding's over and everything, I'm like now I'm gonna get serious about fundraising.
Good. Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Well,
so I'm very
hopefully that
excited.
charity has spots in the other marathons too for you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because like I said, I think they're based in Chicago. Um,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I'm not sure if they have any, but for New York and stuff. But yeah, I would love to next year to cross off another one. But yeah, I'm so excited about just getting my one and
Well, and
my
what's your
first one.
marathon PR? Because with all the speed you're building, you're probably not even far from a BQ.
Yeah, so my current marathon PR is a 4:20. That was during Dopey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that
Yeah.
was after 3 days of waking up,
Yeah.
little sleep, and bad food. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to get under 4 hours.
Yeah.
That'd probably be my B goal, and then as close to as a 3:45 I can.
Yeah.
My training, once I start my training, I haven't really hit like low sevens yet because I think a BQ right now for a 3:25 would be like an average of like 7:44. So
Yeah.
that's fast. So I don't
Yeah.
know if I have me in that this season, but
You'll get there.
I would love to be as close to 3:45. I think that's my goal, or at least a sub 4 hours, I think is what
Yeah.
I'm putting out in the universe, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah. You'll definitely
So
get there without a
yeah,
doubt. That's
yeah, I'm
so
very excited.
exciting. Oh, I'm excited
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm volunteering in Boston on Monday, so I'm
I
super
was just about to
excited.
say that's so exciting. I've never been like I haven't even stepped foot around like a world major. So like
Oh, you'll love
I know
it.
you said that you did it like the past 2 years or past year.
I did. So I ran Boston in 2016 and 2017 and
Oh my
then
gosh.
2023. And then I volunteered in 2018 and then last year. And so I've just decided like I don't care what I have to do. I'm always going to be there in some capacity just
Oh,
because the energy, like it's just
I can't
magical.
even believe it. I'm so excited to experience it. I can't even believe how probably crazy it is,
Oh,
especially in Boston, all races
and
too.
it's just like it doesn't stop. Like it's just there's no like I mean maybe there's like a little bit of a lull in the course, but then it just picks up again and they just like carry you through it. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, running Boston would be so fun. That's so cool that you've gotten to do it. You said 3 times?
Three
3 times?
times. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
But I
Wow.
mean Chicago's the same thing. Like it's just and Chicago's cool because you repeat some of the same parts of the course. So you see like so spectators it's great for because you can see your person at like I don't know, let's say mile 10 and then you can just walk up like two
Oh,
blocks over and see them again at, 18. I
wow.
don't know. I
That's
mean, I'm
nice.
bullshitting with numbers, but you know what I mean. Like, and it was
Yeah.
crazy because I'm like, I've seen that person, I've seen that sign,
You're like, "Wait,
but
what?"
but it's cool for spectators to be able to go there and see their person a bunch of times, and yeah, it's so much energy, and it's just electric.
Yeah, my husband will be there, so I'm excited. I'll have to tell him that because I was like, "You're gonna have to get on like a train and do all those things," so he'll probably be happy to hear that he's
No,
probably
yeah,
not as hard. So,
yeah, find somebody who's done it because it really is. It looked some people I saw 3 times. I'm like, wow.
oh wow, that'd be nice. Yeah, sometimes you
Yeah.
need that, when you're just pushing and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Well, I mean,
excited.
I know one of my friends found me 3 times on the Boston course, which is really impressive because it's only a one shot. So she had to get on
Right,
the tee and but she's from that area. So, I mean, it was pretty
right,
amazing for her to do it. But it's even more challenging there because it is like a straightaway. At least in Chicago, you can sort of like, move over and not like bust your ass to, see your
right,
person. That
right.
is so
Yeah, that's
awesome. You're gonna love it so much.
yeah. I'm very excited. I'm nervous, I guess, about like they say like the reception's bad for your watch. Like, so I'm like gonna have to start like training myself on how to like manually do my watch or something. But
No wonder
um,
about that.
yeah, they
It's
say
funny.
like
I
your
went into
GPS gets off.
Chicago thinking that I was gonna PR, and I ended up just like having a total blast. And you
Yeah,
know, but it
I'm
was
prepared to do either. I'm prepared
yeah.
to do either.
And you never know how you're gonna feel, right? Like I don't know.
Right.
There was something about that race that I just like didn't. I don't know. But I do tend to think that I am better with some elevation, just because like what goes up has
Rolling
to
hills
come
and stuff.
down. Yeah,
Right.
because I've always PR'd in Boston, which is a little bit wild,
Wow.
but
That is crazy.
yeah, I don't know
That's
why.
insane. I saw the
But I
elevation
think it's
chart. I
the
was like,
energy, like but
yeah.
then Chicago has it too. So that really disputes that theory. But I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
yeah, that's the hardest thing about training for marathons is that like it could be something you eat, it could be your sleep, it like you train all of this way for the one day and
Yeah.
that one day might not be your
It may
day
not be
and
your
that's
day. Yeah. It's a
that's the
hard
hardest
one.
pill to swallow, but it's never here or there, like it's not your training always, it's just what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you can't always predict it. That's so
yeah.
exciting. So,
Yes, thank you.
so are you going to go? I'm going to Disneyland Paris when I go to London next week. So I'm really excited. I've never gone to Europe, but I mean like going to Disneyland Paris, I'm really excited about. Are you
I
making a
have
stop
never
there?
been. I have never been to Paris. I've never been to Disneyland Paris.
So I didn't know. how if it was going to be feasible for me, like, or if it was like, 3 hours away or whatever. But it's only a half an hour, and they have buses right from the city that take you there. So I
Oh,
booked my little bus, and I'm going to spend, I think it's May. No, the last day in April, I'll be there. Yes,
that's so
April
exciting.
30th. 2 weeks from today.
You'll have to let me know how that is. Disneyland Paris looks so exciting. I'm so
I know.
excited for you. That's so awesome. Are you running London or are you like
Yes.
volunteering?
I'm running
Oh my
London.
gosh. Oh my gosh. That's like my number one outside of the US one and
Yeah.
Tokyo. I don't know. I'm just excited to just hopefully do as many as I can, but that is
Yeah.
so exciting. That's so fun. Seeing the pictures from London, I'm like, that looks breathtaking to run by. Like, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Running by the Big Ben? Are you serious? I've never even
Yeah.
been to
I
London,
can't
but it
wait. I'm
sounds
going to
fun.
be like,
I'm gonna be
ah.
living through your stories and through your posts. I love that for you. That's so exciting. And
Oh,
to
God.
like be at, oh my gosh, you're just gonna have like all of the energy, like
Yes.
right off of like
Well,
Boston, going to
yeah,
London.
that I'm excited about, because like going to Boston and like getting to experience all that and then take that energy into London will be epic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like absorbing it as a volunteer and then absorbing that going into a runner, like you're
Yeah.
gonna be on a runner's high, like
Yeah.
being in a
Isn't it
different
like,
and
it's so cool
yeah,
where running takes you, right? It's like,
it is. It
it
really
just
is.
blows my mind like all the time. I'm like, the adventures, the people, everything. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah, and being in London, that's such a cool thing. How many times are you gonna be playing So Long London is my question.
Oh my God. I already have my shirt planned for when I leave. It's the So Long London sweatshirt. So I'm going to wear that on the train to Paris.
Oh my gosh,
And
I
I'm
love
having, oh
it.
my God, I have to tell you this. I'm having a whole Taylor Swift day on Friday. So I get there on the 24th, and the
Black Dog.
25th, Black Dog. I booked a Taylor Swift walking tour.
Oh my gosh.
And then on Friday night, I'm doing um, a Taylor Swift sing along London Lights bus tour.
Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. That sounds like so much fun. You're gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
Those Taylor Swift nights are some of the best nights ever. My best friend and I go to those whenever there is one. We're on it.
Whenever.
And I just can't even do like the energy is like it's so fun. Like besides a race, the Taylor Swift is
Yes.
like the next nicest place that where just humans are so nice and everything.
Yes.
And the outfits, you're probably gonna see so many cute outfits. Like, do
I
you have your outfits
know.
planned for the tour?
No, I have nothing planned. I've literally, like, that's the where one area that I like slack off in is planning, but I have to really start packing and thinking about that. So thank you for that push. All I have planned for months is that So Long London sweatshirt
You
for
know
the
what?
next
I love the
day.
idea though. That's so cute. That's so exciting. You're gonna have to send me all your outfits. What are you racing in?
I'm wearing the fundraising shirt.
Okay,
Um,
that's
but
oh
it's
so
purple. It's purple, so
cute.
it'll have my name on it, and then I got a purple like skirt. So I am wearing like
That's so
a
cute.
little, you got to wear like a tutu, because they love that, because so many people
They
are
do.
not wearing those. That I remember that from my first Boston, I wore the tutu, and they like, I had my name on me, but they would just scream like, "Go purple tutu, go purple tutu," you know? Like,
That's so
yay.
funny. Like, yeah, that's me. I'm purple tutu.
Yeah.
That is
Oh my
so
God.
cool.
Yeah. So
Purple's my
I'm glad
favorite
I
color.
remembered to tell you that. I forgot to tell you that, the Taylor Swift
I
day.
love that it's purple. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
And the oh my gosh. I didn't even know, like, I guess London's just become like the Taylor Swift hub.
I
I wasn't
I
aware of this.
I know. I know.
I
Well,
figured the black dog, I thought it stopped with the black dog in the song. I didn't
oh
know it
my
went into a
God.
walking tour and a bus tour.
You should look at the Black Dog's website, because they have the cutest merch.
Oh my gosh, I am. Oh my god. How did I forget about the black dog earlier? We were talking about favorites. Like that one like had to grow on my best friend. I was like, no, I love this song. She's like,
Yeah.
why? Like, but the lyrics, like, I can't.
Yeah. No, that's
you're
a
upset
great.
with somebody, like, how can you not physically miss me? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't understand. Like, I can't
Yeah.
believe you're gonna be there. That's crazy. Like, of
You know
her.
what the other one is I don't love, but I only think that it's because of the placement on the album, is Fresh Out the Slammer.
Oh yeah,
I love, but Daddy, I love him so much
that's
that
a good song.
to go to such like a like a slower sort of down song, I just don't love the transition of it. But I don't know if I'd love any song right after But Daddy I Love Him, because I love that song so
Right.
much.
I know that is a really good song. Fresh Out the Slammer, like I can appreciate it. It's not my favorite, but
Yeah.
I think it falls within like the middle to like lower three-fourths of the range.
Yes.
But yeah, yeah, it is a weird like transition. Like even the smallest man, I feel the same way about like smallest man who ever lived. Like I get
Yes.
stuck on that song. Just like the never ending chorus of it. Just like you
Yes.
scream that. Like I'll never
Yes.
forget do like in Madrid was I was there with my husband and it was like an out of body experience, like getting to scream
Yeah.
that. And at the time, Tortured Poets it was in May. So Tortured Poets was only out for a month. And I looked at my video. No one is singing it. I'm like, "Ugh." Like, what do you mean? You don't know every single word of this whole album yet, and she's performing it for us. And it was like an amazing set, and you don't know the words. Like, what? Oh
No,
my
I
god.
mean, Tortured Poets, like, just revolutionized my life. I feel like
Me too.
I will never be the same from Tortured Poets.
Me
And
neither.
it went so high, like it every my kids make fun of me because when we did like our music replay, every month was Tortured Poets for me. The whole year was
Me
Tortured
too.
Poets. Like it just, and I mean, I
Me
just
too.
never, I finally, because they finally were like having an intervention. They were like, can you just listen to some other album, like any other album? And I'm like, all right. Like, so I would have to like change it up when they were, around because they just got so sick of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just loved it so much. I mean, it's like a masterpiece, like
I know.
she got
Just,
totally robbed of a Grammy, but I honestly
yeah.
don't care because it was for her and it was for us. And
It
if the
was. It
world
was
didn't
a
get
gift
it,
for us.
yeah.
It was a gift for us.
Yeah.
And like the songs that she chose, well, she opened up with Daddy I Love Him, like was iconic. And just how she performed the whole entire set, like she put her heart and soul into that set between Who's Afraid, like the stage Roomba and like her mannerisms on the pole and the small man who ever lived, like with the white flags waving, like you're surrendering, and
Yes.
she gets shot twice, like she's trying after the one time. Like there's just so many like she just thought about it. She just sat there and thought about it, and like Down Bad. Even that, like that Down Bad's not. I love. It's a groovy song. It's not
Yeah.
like my favorite song, but even on that, like when I hear it, I'm like, okay, this is like on the Eras tour, and then I can listen to it because there's
Yes.
like Down Bad. Like she was like going around Little Roomba, but I can't.
Yes.
I can't believe the Eras tour is over. Like, can
I
you? I refuse to believe. Sometimes I think it's still going on in my head. Like I just like, oh, tonight's surprise songs is like My Boy, which I also love that song too. That was up there on my list. My Boy.
yes.
I was like, that was tonight's surprise songs. I'm like, I'm just making them up in my head at this point. But
I know. Well, that's why I like to run to the Eras tour and then I create my own surprise songs, which is usually the same fucking songs. Like I always do like
that's
You're
fun.
on Your Own, Kid, and
Oh,
what else do I like to choose? Sometimes I try to change it up, but it's always You're on Your Own, Kid. I love that song so much.
that's my best friend and I's favorite song. And before I even knew her, we were both at Tampa Night too, and that was the first time she played You're on Your Own, Kid and The Great War. Um, so that's definitely my favorite song. Midnight's my favorite album. I don't know. I go back and forth between Torture Poets, but that song is just so I love it so much.
Yeah. Well,
But
honestly, like Midnight's I love as well. Sometimes Karma makes me sad though because it means it's the end of the Eras tour,
the end
and
of the
now it is
history.
the end of the Eras tour. So I'm like,
I
I
know.
don't want to listen to it.
I know, I agree. This transport back to the sadness of it, but
Yes,
I don't know. There's just something she put in that album. I'm just like so good. It's so good.
narcotics, right?
It's some narcotics for sure. Yeah, because of I guess, well, technically the first one was Your Honor Kid, Great War, and then I got Snow on the Beach mixed with I Look in People's Windows. So I had a lot of
Oh,
midnights, and then
you
I had
did,
the I Look in
yeah.
People's Windows, and then the Sparks Fly mixed with oh, I Can Fix Him. That was also the Sparks Fly was mixed with that. I Can Fix Him. I was like, this is kind of interesting.
Wow. Okay, so I
Yeah.
got my first one was MetLife Night 3, and it was before the mashup, so it was Welcome to New York, which I'm more connected to now after running New York City. I didn't love
Right.
it then. I was a little bit
Yeah.
sad. But then I
I could
got,
see the connection, yeah, after your
yeah,
run.
we knew it was coming. I wanted Maroon so badly, but Maroon got
Oh.
night one, or night one got
Oh.
Maroon. Um,
Yeah.
and I got Clean, which you'll appreciate this. I didn't even know Clean. I was such a
Really?
baby Swiftie at my first
Baby
Eras
Swifty.
tour. I didn't know it. So now I
Oh.
love it, and I want to transform my older butterfly tattoo into like the Clean butterflies. But
Oh.
and then my second Eras tour was the Angry Woman mashup, Mad Woman, Cassandra, and I did something bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then the other one was I got the tattoo to commemorate um the Great American Dynasty, and I got the maple leaf because I was in Toronto.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so cool. I love it.
I
Oh my
know.
God, that's so you got to go 3 times too. That's
No,
awesome.
just two.
Oh, 2 times.
Yeah, two. But it
Because
was
you were in Toronto when you were there.
yeah,
Okay. You were
yeah.
in
It was,
Toronto.
but
Okay.
it was great to be able to see the torture poets, right? Because like I didn't
Yeah.
have that in the Met Life, so it
Yeah.
was like adding another element to the concert. Oh my God, I could talk to you all fucking day because no one talks Taylor Swift with me.
I know. I can talk about Taylor Swift for hours. I know. Somebody like my husband, I'm like, he's gonna have to like be like I talked to him and he's like, Haley, that's enough. Like,
Yeah,
stop.
I know, I know. And for a
He'll
while
let
it
me
was
talk
like
about it. He gives me my moment, but the
it,
moment sometimes it's too long. He's like, okay, we're done.
yes, I totally relate to that because I'm like, I gotta tell you a story, and they're like, "Is it about Taylor Swift?" And I'm like, "It's just a little one, but it's really cool. It's a really good story."
I know. I wish she would come out of retirement, even though she's only been in retirement for a few months. I'm like, I'm ready for something to happen.
But like mentally, I need it, so I hope that Reputation comes, or even the debut. I'm okay with that. I don't even really know debut because I'm waiting for her to release it so I can like dive into it.
I can relate to that too. I don't. That's the album that I haven't deeply familiar in my. I mean, obviously I did when I was younger, but I don't always just sit there and listen to it. But I do need crazier like Taylor's version now that that was my first dance. I was like, I actually need
I
to like
love that song. I love that
yeah.
song.
I need
So
her like older
so
vocal.
were you always a Swiftie? Did you grow up with her?
I did. So
Okay.
my dad wanted me to play the guitar so bad. He's like, you have to play guitar. So I started doing guitar lessons, and that was when Fearless was out. But I was like I liked Tim McGraw. Well, I
Yes.
was familiar with Tim McGraw, but I liked her songs before, but I would say I mostly entered the scene at Fearless, not very
Okay.
much Taylor Swift. So Fearless was when I was into it because I was playing Love Story on the guitar, You Belong with Me on the guitar, and then
Oh,
I'm very big into like Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. She's also one of my favorite artists. Um, so I would play the Climb all the time, and I
yes.
liked obviously I liked the movie, so Crazier was very prevalent.
Yes. Yeah, my
So when
oldest
she,
was into that movie, so that was where I saw that, and yeah, I loved that song. And I mean, I
yeah,
liked Taylor Swift, but it was never like I need
I
more of
know. I
her,
think
right?
about her like multiple times a day.
Yeah, it wasn't until the Eras tour that I'm like, like give me everything. I'm
Yeah,
in.
I know. She's just she's so amazing. I miss her, but she's amazing. I feel like I know her as a person, but I don't. But
She's
I
our
know
best
her heart.
friend.
She is our best friend. She like makes songs just for us,
Yeah.
and yeah, our surprise songs are just for us. Like
And you should come if you ever come to the Northeast.
yeah,
The Surftown Half Marathon goes right by her house in Westerly.
I that's tempting. That's very tempting. I'm gonna have to like look that up because
Yes.
I need to see this.
Yeah, it's nice. I spent a day at the beach with my youngest daughter and her best friend this summer, and it was so fun just to be chilling by Taylor's house.
That is so cool. That's awesome. My MC, apparently he was on the same, like the guy who like was like, oh, introducing us for our wedding and stuff. He was on the same record deal as Taylor Swift when she was 12. So he said he just like casually hung out with Taylor Swift and he had a picture of him and Taylor Swift, like multiple, and he was showing, I wasn't in the room at the time. I mean, he told me that before, but I was in the room at the time. But my best friend was looking at, she was like, shut up. And she went like this and like knocked his hand out of his phone out of his hand. She's like, shut up! And he like knocked out because she's like, what do you mean you hung out with her when she was 12? Like, what? But yeah, I was like, I'm so jealous.
Wow,
Yeah.
so
I,
cool.
It is so cool. Do you like
Well,
him, her and Travis?
I do. I had a moment when he what did he do that pissed me off in the fall? Oh, when we went with the whole Trump thing when he didn't like stand
Oh,
up for her. I didn't
yeah,
love that.
right.
But I feel like, people can't always get it right in the moment. And I'm sure if I was being
Yeah.
interviewed, I would fuck up a million times. So
Yeah, sometimes
I've
it's like what
forgiven
is the
him.
best thing to say then, but I
Yeah.
totally get it. But it's like obviously like yeah, it's like hard to get it right in the second and like
Yeah.
especially with how she's so strongly about her, political
Yes.
opinions that and then he just yeah, it was probably a missed opportunity on his end for
Yeah.
sure.
I felt like the way that I feel about him, because I do feel like he is so good for her and confident and loves her. I did. I just wanted more for her in that moment. I wanted him to be like, "F you,"
Oh,
you know.
100%.
He was rude to my girl, like. But
Right.
it can't
Yeah.
always be about her. Like he has a career and things
Yeah,
going on
especially as
too.
he's in his uniform and whatnot, getting
Yeah,
interviewed about it.
but for
But
the
like
most part, yes, I am a big fan. I do like them.
yeah, I just love how he's so proud of her and like
So
everything she
proud.
does.
Yes, like and
But
just
yeah.
yeah, can proudly like be because she needs someone strong.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Mm.
Well, awesome. I am so grateful for you and your time. Thank you for coming on. This was so much
Thank
fun. We
you.
could talk for
Thank
five
you.
more hours about Taylor Swift and running, but and
Yeah,
then you
well,
combine the two and it's like so exciting.
I know. Well, congrats to you going to Boston and volunteering and
Thank
have the
you.
best time in London. I cannot wait to see everything. Oh my
Thank you.
gosh.
And we're going to finally meet in person at Wine and Dine.
Yes, definitely let me know. I'll be there all weekend. My dad and I love wine and dine, so yeah, we check in on Expo Day and
Oh my
everything. So
God, I
I'll
can't
definitely
wait.
catch up with you then.
Yes, and congratulations on your coast to coast and all the excitement. That's awesome. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much, and we will talk soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. I hope that you loved that episode. Cause who's afraid of little old me? You should be. We should have sang that together. Sorry, Hailey. I should have thought about that earlier. But thank you so much to Hailey for coming on and sharing. I hope you all loved this episode. I just love it. I love it so much. This one gave me so much happiness, and she is welcome back anytime to talk Tay Tay and our wonderful favorite albums and songs and all of that. So I hope that you love this episode. If you did, please screenshot it, share it to your stories, and or send it to a friend. I love when you guys spread the word about the podcast because that helps me reach more ears. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.